All right, hopefully I have enough bubbles here. So you're desperately trying to find a woman to date, right? You're on the dating apps, you're trying to find her. But are you really trying to find her? What are you trying to find exactly? So I've mentioned before that I've been on the dating apps for 5 years. And I say I've been on them, I've been on and off them. Like I'm not on them 100% of the time. They get very exhausting, very draining. But over the years, I have kept a list, made a list of things that I see guys doing in their profiles that are not helpful at all. And I've mentioned a few of them in a previous video. And I'm expecting a lot of negative feedback. That's okay because I know this is going to piss a lot of guys off. They're going to get defensive. They're going to say that because I have a septum piercing and tattoos that I'm too masculine and that's why I can't find anyone. And really these guys are just bitter and resentful and they're not the type of guy that I would want to attract anyways. So, but here we go for the people who actually are wondering why they're not attracting women with their dating profiles. I'm just going to give you a list of things that I've noticed. And this is in no particular order, by the way. Like I am just starting from the beginning and I'm just going to go through them. Some of them are going to be really quick. Some of them I might have more to say about. First thing, don't stick out your tongue in your pictures. It's kind of pervy and it's immature. And I will say I used to have a picture where I was like, and you don't attract the right type of person. Like just don't do that because you're just going to attract a perv. It's not appropriate, especially for a 37-year-old woman. But I see guys doing it all the time, like trying to be cute, but it's not cute. And that's not how you look. That's not how you look. When we meet, you're not going to look like that. So don't do that. The next thing I'll say is everyone is looking for something different, but I'm just going to tell you that if you put on your profile that you're looking for intimacy without commitment, I guess my issue is it's fine if you want that. And there are people who want that. I guess what I'm wondering is why are there so many people who want that in their 40s or early 50s? You want intimacy without commitment. It's concerning. It's concerning that such a large number of men want intimacy without commitment. Like you just don't want to be a man. You don't want any responsibilities. You don't want to provide for someone. You resent women. You're very bitter and it makes you angry that anyone would expect anything of you in return for the sexual pleasure that they provide you. Next thing is instead of saying that you're looking for someone fit and athletic. I'm looking for someone athletic and fit and healthy lifestyle. Just say that you don't want to date fat people. Just be honest. Help us all to just save the time because I know a lot of people who are athletic and fit, but on the outside they might not look like it, right? They might not look like what you want them to look like. So just say that all you care about is actually how because I bet you that you would pick someone who has no physical fitness whatsoever, but who you think has a sexy looking body, but they're not actually fit and they're not athletic. But you would pick them over someone who looks different and could be a lot more athletically fit. They could have a really impressive VO2 max, but they don't have the body that you want. So just be honest. But instead of saying that you're looking for someone who values health and takes care of themselves, that's like you're not being clear. You're not really being clear because there are a lot of people who value health and take care of themselves. And I bet you that you would judge them based on the way they look and wouldn't date them because of it. So that's not actually what you're looking for. Because who doesn't value health? Like everyone values their health. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, so why don't you just, instead of saying that you want someone who values health, why don't you say that you want someone who looks like they value health? That's what you should really say. The next thing I'll mention is that, and I have talked about this in my other video, but just, you need to get clear on what you actually want. You just need to, because if you're just looking for a nice girl to hang out with, there are a lot of those, but like almost none of them are going to be a good match for you. So you have to get more clear on what your criteria are. What are you actually looking for? Okay, the next thing is I probably will have a lot of things about the actual profile and pictures and just how to design your profile. Don't have the first photo be a photo with a huge group of people, okay? Nobody wants to try to figure out which one you are. We all have a limited amount of time. You know how draining it is to swipe through on these apps. Nobody wants to do detective work to try to figure out which one's you and what you actually look like. Just have a clear photo of you smiling with your eyes showing with no hat on because we want to see if you're bald. Sorry, we just want to see. It doesn't mean that people aren't going to date you, but like you don't try to hide it if you are, and you're hiding your receding hairline, and smile so that we can see your teeth and what you look like, and don't have sunglasses on because we want to see your eyes. The other thing, this might just be a pet peeve of mine, don't say you're looking for a girl. I'm looking for a nice girl. I'm looking for a girl who this and that. I'm looking for a cute, sweet girl. You're looking for a woman, okay? You're not looking for a girl, so don't say that you are. And imagine if women were like, I'm looking for a really nice boy. What What would you think if you read that? It's like kind of condescending, right? You're like, I'm not a boy, I'm a man. So stop with the girl thing. Cause that is like a red flag to me. If I see somebody to say that, I'm like, yeah, no, we're not a match. Because it also kind of like implies that you're looking for someone who you perceive to be beneath you, that you are the authority, right? Yeah, I'm looking for a girl, sweet girl who will do what I want and just make me happy. I mean, I guess if that's what you're looking for, but I don't know that any woman's gonna identify that and be like, oh, I'm your little girl. I'm your little girl. Well, maybe they will in a different context, if you know what I mean, but that's not what we're talking about today. Okay, the other thing is on Bumble, you can choose as an interest sex positivity. You can choose sex positive. I'm reading off my computer if I look down. You can choose sex positivity as one of your interests. Don't do that, because even if it's something, I think a lot of you don't even know what it is and you're like, I'm positive about sex. I like sex. I'm going to choose sex, but you don't know what you're talking about. That's not what it is. It's all about like gender identity stuff. So to me, when I see that, it's also a red flag. And honestly, even if it were talking about actual sex as an interest, don't put it as your top 5. Just don't, because we're humans, right? The one driving force that we have is procreation. So we all like to have sex. You don't have to put it as one of your top 5 interests. Okay. Like come up with something better, please. No woman is going to see that and be like, oh, he's into sex. He has sex positivity. Like that's definitely not going to be a reason why someone chooses to go on a date with you or to match with you. So please just get rid of it. Get rid of it. And even if you are choosing it for the right reasons, I don't know. Well, in that case, I guess keep it there, but I don't think that most men even know what the hell it means. The other thing, don't use the little purple devil icon. Don't use it. Okay. So many guys use that and I'm just like, no. It's too pervy and inappropriate. You don't send that to a stranger that you haven't even met yet. You need to be a gentleman. You need to feel like someone safe that doesn't have ulterior motives for meeting. And by that, I mean just wanting to have sex. If that's the number one thing on your mind and you're trying to flirt and send all these little icons when you haven't even met this person yet, to me, that's a huge boundary violation. Just no, you're crossing a line and that's going to lead nowhere good real fast. People are going to think you're a perv if you use that. No one's seeing that and swiping right. I promise you, some people might not make it a deal breaker, but I guarantee that no one's seeing that. And then they're like, oh my God, I'm going to match with him. Don't talk about how good sex is the key to a good relationship. Don't say that. Don't say I hear this all the time. I'm looking for someone with a strong libido that can match mine. You guys, I promise you, you don't understand women. Please stop. Women are not seeing that and matching. It is such a turnoff to see that because all it's signaling to a woman is that is your only priority. That's all you care about is sex and getting off. And it's about you. It's about you and your pleasure and sexual gratification, and that's it. You have no interest in her as a person. Like your profile should be focused on the person, the other person that you're trying to meet. What are you bringing to the table? Not like I'm looking for someone who can match my libido and wants to fuck me every day. No, that's so unattractive. Okay, the other thing, don't lie about your height. Don't do it. I don't know if you know that women, we know how tall we are, and we know what it's like to stand next to someone who's 6 feet tall, and we know what it's like to stand next to someone who's 5'9". Women have an invisible measuring stick that we can just project onto a man, and it's like a superpower, but we can tell if you're lying, and it happens all the time. Just be honest. I don't know if you think that if you're 5'10" and you say you're 6 feet tall, that somehow what do you think happens when you do that? Because we're gonna find out when we meet you. And I don't know if you think, oh, by then I just have to meet them and I'll win them over with my charm and my personality or whatever. And maybe, but I'm just saying we're gonna know. And even if it's not a deal breaker, what's also not attractive is knowing that you were lied to. Like, don't start off the interaction with a lie. Just say how freaking tall you are. It's the same thing with the hat thing. Take your hat off. Let us see that you're bald. Okay, and this one might just be a personal preference of mine because I don't drink, but you can choose interests on Bumble again, and there could be like bars. There's all sorts of activities though. There's all sorts of cultural activities, outdoor activities, theater, documentaries, philosophy, road trips, camping, and so many people of the you only get to pick 5, and there's so many travel. There's so many you can choose, and there are so many guys that choose bars, whiskey, beer as like 3 of them. I'm like, of all the things you can choose, and I'm trying to learn about you. I'm trying to learn about you and your top 3 interests have to do with alcohol and drinking. No, I guess if you're someone who's really into craft beer or something, you can just choose beer. That's it. But if you can't come up with 5 things from this massive list that the app offers you, I think that's pretty pathetic. Okay, another thing is now this one controversial. It depends on what type of person you're looking for, but don't choose your pronouns. Don't put it on your profile. Now, it depends on what your beliefs are because maybe you want to put that on there. I'm just saying if you're someone who doesn't subscribe to that narrative that we're being fed in the current culture, then don't choose it. Because I know a lot of guys that don't really believe in it and they don't buy it, but they'll still choose he, him. I'm just saying for me, if I see he, him, or whatever, I automatically know because we're not aligned. Because if you're going to subscribe to that, we're not a match. So if you choose that, you're letting people know that you're participating in this narrative. The other thing is in the about me section, don't say just ask. Just ask. This is what the section's for. You're supposed to tell me. What do you mean just ask? If you want to know something, just ask. Just tell me. Just tell me right now in the about me section so that I don't have to ask. How about that? Or another thing they'll say is don't be shy. Say hello. No, you say hello. How about that? You're the man. You say hello. You initiate. Women should not need to be digging and asking all of the questions. I don't believe that we should be initiating the communication. Now I know on Bumble, the woman has to be the first to reach out, but I believe that once the woman reaches out with something thoughtful, that the man should then take over and lead the communication, lead planning the date, lead the rest of everything. Lead. I don't want to do that. So I'm just saying, step it up, maybe. Okay, going back to profile photos. Sorry, this is all over the place. It's just when I ever think of an idea, I put it in my notes, and this is the order. Don't take selfies lying in bed with your dog. You look like a slob, you look lazy, and personally, I don't want to sleep in a bed with a dog. So if I see guys that have their dog in their bed, it's just an automatic no. I'm like, yep. Not gonna work. Okay, this one. Don't put photos. I think a lot of guys put photos of them with the hottest chick they know. Any picture they can find of them with a lot of hot chicks. Because I think that they think that it makes them appear as higher value, right? A higher value guy and more attractive. Because it's almost like if hot women want to hang out with you, then you must be pretty great. But either way, I'm just telling you, it doesn't have that effect. That's not what women think when they see it. So I would avoid doing that. On Bumble, when a woman finally reaches out, if I'm having an exchange with a guy and we've gone back and forth 3 or 4 times and I've asked questions and then he answers and doesn't fall, and then I just ask another and I keep kind of digging and like trying to kickstart the dialogue and he's still just letting me interview him, then I'm just unmatching with you and we're just done. We're done. Because it shouldn't be this hard. I think on Hinge, you have to answer the prompts. You have to actually write words. On Bumble, you could just put profile pictures. Don't do that. Definitely answer the prompts. I know that a lot of guys say, I don't even read. I just swipe. I just scroll and look at the pictures. You need to understand that women are not men and we do read the profiles and we do not just look at the photos and it matters what you say. So you need to write something thoughtful that is going to help us decide whether or not you might be a good match. We're not the same as guys. We care a lot more about things beyond physical appearance. Initially, we want to know what you're like. We want to learn about you. And a picture is not going to cut it for us to decide if we want to go on a date with you. Next, don't be overly pessimistic or negative and cynical in your profile. I know we've all been on them for a long time. Like we're over it. Don't dump that into your profile because why would someone want to spend time with you when you're clearly just a complainer and you're negative? Don't complain, and not just about dating, but don't complain about anyone. Don't complain or bash people in your profile. Even if you think you're just trying to be funny, you don't want that to be the first impression that you give someone. That's the type of stuff because you might have an interesting sense of humor that doesn't translate well via text on a screen. So that kind of stuff needs to wait until you know each other a little bit better and it can come out in person. But just don't be negative, sarcastic, and cynical in your profile. If you're being really critical of other people and you just sound like a jerk, it's such a turnoff and it's not funny. Also, for me personally, if someone says that they enjoy sarcastic banter, or some guys will say it's a non-negotiable for them that they need to have a good flirt to roast ratio, that to me is the stupidest thing ever. I don't want to be roasted by the guy I'm dating and I don't want to roast him. I think it's mean. Why? Like we like each other a lot. We like each other and we love each other and we want to love each other, and I don't want to be mean to you. I don't want to make fun of you. I don't want to laugh at your expense. I'm not sure why you want to do that to me, but no. It's definitely okay if if you say that you have kids, but honestly, if it is all your profile is about and all your pictures are of you with your kids and about how they're the number one most important thing, that can be a turnoff for women. It just depends. For single women, or they're all single, for women who don't have kids, it can be. I'm just telling you that you will, and it's good, but you'll attract other people probably that also have kids and don't have a lot of time to commit to a relationship because they're so preoccupied with their kids, which is great, and they should be. I'm just saying you're not often going to attract people who don't have children. And if that's what you're looking for, you would need to be able to devote enough time to them where they feel like a priority. I believe that your romantic relationship should be your priority and the number one thing in your life, even if you have kids. And I'm not the only person who thinks this. And the reason that I believe it is because of how many relationship experts that I've listened to that talk about why this is so important and why your romantic connection needs to come first before the children. You need to prioritize it. But so that's why I think that if you attract women who are okay with being second, third place in your life, I think you're going to end up attracting women who don't know their value and their worth and who have a lower self-esteem and not so much confidence and don't believe that they are worthy of being your main number one priority. Okay, don't say you're looking for no drama. No drama, please. All that tells me is that you are extremely immature and you cannot handle the complexity of the human experience, and you can't handle conflict, and you can't handle difficult things, and you can't handle dealing with a woman's emotions, and you can't hold them. So that's actually probably something you want to work on, because at this point, if that's how you feel, you're not equipped to be a solid partner for a woman. Not only that, but writing in your profile that you're looking for someone with no drama, what person is going to see that and say, oh, I have tons of drama, so I'm not going to match with them? Like, nobody thinks that they're full of drama. Usually you're always projecting and blaming the other person. So no one's going to say, oh yeah, that's me. I have a lot of drama. I guess I won't swipe on him. Everybody thinks that they don't really have a lot of drama. So that it's just not a good, for you, it's not a good way to, it's not a good filter. It's not a good filter. I would say, oh, here's one. Being funny is good. If you're funny, try to communicate that in your profile somehow. Another mistake is focusing on finding a female version of you. So guys will say they want a gym buddy, or you need to be like into sports or motorcycles or whatever. Is that really what you want? Do you really want a female version of you? No, we want people who have different interests. Yes, you should have some, it's fun to have some shared things that you do together, but you don't need to have the same interests as your partner. And it actually makes them so much more intriguing and attractive when they are unique and different, and they have different interests and different points of view and different perspectives, because you learn from them and you get to explore different things because of them, and they show you different things, and you can do the same for them. So don't focus less on needing to have the same hobbies, because that's not actually what is going to maintain a long-term connection. That's not going to be the thing, the glue that's going to be able to hold you together to withstand all of the challenges that come with a relationship. It needs to go far beyond we have the same hobbies. And I will say one green flag is anyone that has said that they've done work on themselves. I'm not saying that that's always enough. And a lot of times people say they've done a lot of work, or they think they've done a lot of work, and then you meet them and you're like, oh my gosh, not so much. But at least if they have made an effort, that's a very good sign. Don't use the prompt, I quote too much from, and then say like Dumb and Dumber, The Office, The Big Lebowski, Parks and Rec, Step Brothers. It's so overused and it's not interesting. Don't talk about pineapple on pizza. Don't talk about returning your shopping cart. Don't talk about slow drivers in the left lane. I can't tell you how many times I see this and it's like, you are so generic. You're not unique in any way. Why would I see that and think I need to go on a date with this guy? What makes you different than anyone else? It's so boring. And it's not even just boring. I don't even feel neutral about it. It's actually repulsive. It's so unattractive. It's like, oh my God. It's repelling. It's actually repelling. So with your photos, try to have a variety of photos. Don't just have a bunch of selfies of your face making a weird face. don't have them all the same. Let's say you love to hike, something in the mountains. Let's say you love to scuba dive, something on the water. If you travel, you in another location, you can have one with friends, but don't make it the main profile picture. The other thing is, just a little pro tip, a flattering angle is one that is a little bit above your head. So like this angle from down here, like it's like you get the double chin thing and I like see up your nose. It's just not flattering at all. So you want to, if you're going to take a selfie, you want to hold it up a little bit. Hold it up and in front of your face, okay? Because that's just a better angle. Trust me. I'm just helping you out. Okay. This, I feel like this should go without saying, but I see it where the picture is sideways. Sideways. I'm sorry. If you can't put in the effort to rotate the photo, yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good for you as a contributing partner in a relationship, because that is the lowest effort possible thing that you could do and you somehow can't manage it. Okay. This is just another generic one. It's like the pineapple on pizza thing, but don't say dating me is like biting into an oatmeal raisin cookie and realizing it's chocolate chip and then 2 hours later that it was also an edible. I'm tired. I'm just tired. And then here, I'm going to read you one example that I saw in the about me section. It says, I have no idea what I'm doing here. I'm extremely busy, work 2 jobs, go to the gym, and any free time is spent with my nephew or slamming coffee. What are you doing here? What actually are you doing here? You shouldn't be here. Shouldn't be here, and no woman worth anything is going to match with someone who is clearly telling them that they don't have any time for them at all and it's not a priority. So just get off the app if that's you. Okay, now I want to tell you about a guy that I matched with in this summer and when I was in Wisconsin, and there were so many red flags, and I am going to tell you just so that you can get an idea and identify things that you maybe have done or similar things and don't do them. Okay, so before we had even talked or met texting, the first thing that he said to me was that I was literally everything he was looking for in a woman. Red flag. You've never met me. You don't know me. I'm not everything that you've been looking for in a woman. How could you possibly know that? He told me that he wants attractive kids and that he's really attractive. And the only reason that he's saying that is that he doesn't even necessarily think it, but people have always told him that. And he wants to make sure that he has attractive kids. Okay. He said that he's gotten catfished a bunch and women show up 40 pounds fatter than their profile photos from like their high school prom picture or something. So he's just very shallow, clearly, right? It's like all he cares about. Okay, another thing he told me was that he could wake up to my smile every day for the rest of his life. This was before we had ever met. By the way, we never ended up meeting, but I'm just saying we had never met. We had texted. He had seen 5 pictures of me. That's it. Then we did talk on the phone and he was already starting to talk about how he would consider moving to Arizona because that's where I live, but I was just spending the summer in Wisconsin. And I'm like, I what? Okay. I didn't ask you to move to Arizona. What are you talking about? It's the first conversation that we're talking. And to me, that's someone that is like trying to progress things that quickly. I've had it before and made the mistake of dating a person like that. It's dangerous. Like you need to slow down. You need to slow way down. Then after we got off the phone, about 5 minutes later, he called me back and asked me if I wanted to have kids. And when I said that I didn't feel super strongly either way, he said, I mean, if we got married, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind even if we didn't have kids. We could just like hike up to the top of a mountain and fuck on the top of a mountain. And he's like, how awesome would that be? I don't know, Nolan. I've never met you. Think about the type of woman that would respond positively to that. And is that the type of woman that you want to date? That's just talking about fucking you at the top of a mountain the first time that you have a conversation. Then he also he did a lot of kind of emotional dumping on me. He was telling me all about his dad and how his dad never told him that he loved him. This is all our first phone conversation. And he basically he talked to me the entire time. He didn't ask me about myself. He would sometimes ask a question and I would start to share a story and he would interrupt me immediately and flip it back to him and start talking about himself. Like immediately. He had just no patience and no interest really in what I was saying. There was just a lot of overcompensation and him constantly talking about how attractive he was, how capable of a man he was, what he could do as a man, that he can build houses, he does remodels on multi-million-dollar homes, just bragging. And he was talking about how all these progressive women are realizing that actually what they want is a blue-collar man, a real man. And it's like, I don't even necessarily disagree, but you can tell that he just was saying these things because he was trying to convince himself that he believed that. because he's that guy. So trying to convince himself that he is what women want, but I don't think he actually believes it. Anyways, I'm just saying, it's bad when while you're on the phone with the guy, you're scrolling Instagram while he's talking. That's what I just ended up opening Instagram and I'm just scrolling because he was just never, I couldn't get a word in. He didn't have anything to ask me. He just wanted to talk about himself. And I'm just like so bored. I'm scrolling. I mean, I should have just gotten off the phone, right? That's what I should have done. The other thing is he's talked to me about dick pics. He didn't send one, but just talking about them. He said what he said about it was he doesn't even like sending them because the camera never captures things realistically. I'm like, okay. Doesn't the camera add 10 pounds? Like it should work out in your favor, but whatever. Anyways, at the end of the call, we talked for an hour and a half. He said, wow, we talked for 90 minutes and time flew by. That's a good sign. Yeah, because you fucking ran your mouth the whole time. You had a great time. I like running my mouth for 90 minutes too. Feels good. Time flies. And it's funny because after that call, he was so excited to see me again and to talk again. I never heard from him. I mean, and by the way, that was a good thing. I didn't want to hear from him, but I'm just saying I never heard from him again. Okay, I just have a few more, you guys. Sorry, I know this is super long. One time I saw pizza is my second favorite thing to eat in bed. Like, it's fine if that's true. And you can definitely tell a woman that you're dating that that's true, but do not put it on your dating profile, please. I know that for a guy, if a guy saw that, if I put on my profile, like popsicles are my second favorite thing to suck in bed, like I imagine that would be a turn on to a lot of guys. And I'm just reminding you that women are not men and we just don't think that way. Like no woman is seeing that as like, oh my God, like it's just no, stop it. Okay. And then this goes along with the being negative thing. I saw someone saying something, the prompt was something I learned way too late in life or too late in life. And it was people suck with exclamation point. Like you suck, actually. You kind of suck. What woman is going to find that comment attractive? The same guy even said in his About Me section, the people you like, you'll never meet, and the ones you never choose is all you get. Wow. You are so optimistic. And then it said, pretty sure this app is a scam. Go away with your fucking whining and complaining. Who wants to listen to you? You sound like a child. You sound like a whiny little boy. Matt, maybe you're the one who sucks and you need to adjust your standards to more realistic levels because you're clearly not deserving of the ones you like, or they would be matching with you. And apparently you're attracting the ones that you would never choose. So you might want to assess what you're putting out into the world because you get what you give, bro. And I think that was the last thing I had on my list. So I hope that you enjoyed my rant. And even if you didn't, then if it upset you, I'm glad that it upset you. And if you leave a kind comment, I love and adore you. And if you leave a nasty comment, also thank you for the engagement. Much appreciated. And yeah, good luck out there on the dating apps, you guys. If you have a genuine, real question for me, drop it below. If you're just going to be a dick, like probably don't waste your time because I'll just laugh. So here's the previous video I did about dating. You guys can check it out. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Ciao.